Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest live Q&A video. I think the last time I did one of these was, Halloween. Yeah. So about a week or two ago, but I thought it was time for another one. So I hope everyone's all good. And once again, if you're new to this, ask me any questions you want in the live chat. I will answer them as best I can. Can't promise a definitive answer for every question, but I will do my best. I used to do Q&As and plan them a bit more, but I just find doing them live much easier because people can ask straight away and then get an answer. So, yeah. And if you're new to my channel, I do movie reviews and vlogs and sketches and loads of different things, rankings, basically. Yeah. Like I said, I can't promise I'll answer every question, but I'll try my best. This might run for about an hour or so, no longer than 2 hours. I don't usually go on for more than 2 hours with a Q&A, otherwise it gets a bit too long. So yeah, and if you're watching this not live, then I'm very sorry, but you've missed your chance to ask the questions. Right. Well, I've already got some questions, so I'll get to it. Oh, hello, Zach. Yes, I will be buying No Time to Die on Blu-ray when it comes out. That's what I'll do. Thanks, Sam. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. Not bad. How about you? Ren and Stimpy? Never seen it, unfortunately. Am I enjoying Series 7 of Doctor Who? It's a mixed bag, I'd say. I mean, I'm almost at the end of Part 1, which is where Amy and Rory leave. So it's been very up and down. There's been one great story, two good ones, and one that's crap. So I don't know how The Angels Take Manhattan's going to fare. I've not seen it for a few years, so that'll be my next Doctor Who review. Looking forward to rewatching that one. What are your top 5 most anticipated 2022 films? There's a few Marvel films coming out. The Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore, that would be one. Turning Red, the Pixar movie, that would be up there. God, what else? Excuse me. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. A lot of them, some of the Marvel films, I'm actually quite looking forward to. Can't remember which other ones are coming out. But yeah, those were probably the ones I can think of. Yeah. Opinion on Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. From what I remember, he's pretty good. I don't think he's amazing. I think he is let down by the bad writing on a lot of occasions, but I look forward to reviewing his era. I'll go into Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who era with a fresh set of eyes, although I don't remember liking his second series very much. Series 9, I thought Series 9 was poor, but Series 8 was decent, and I haven't seen Series 10, so again, I kind of felt the era was similar to Matt Smith's era in terms of the quality of the stories, but we'll see. I'm on Matt Smith's last series at the moment, so I'll have to get through that first. I'm not going to start Peter Capaldi reviews until January at the earliest. No Time to Die comes out on December the 20th. Oh, wow, that's early. I thought in the UK it comes out in February. Well, unless that's like a premium on demand for rental thing. But the Blu-ray and DVD I thought came out in February. But yeah, I'm definitely going to buy it, whatever the case. Oh, hello, Harry. Nice to see you, my friend. Captain Marvel or Eternals? Captain Marvel. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Captain Marvel's brilliant, but it's better than the Eternals. Eternals is so goddamn boring. Do you prefer Let's Kill Hitler or Asylum of the Daleks? Well, if you watch the reviews, Sam, you'll know that I said in my Let's Kill Hitler review that is my least favorite Matt Smith story. Did you actually watch them, or did you just leave comments? Hey, Ollie, I like your haircut. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had my haircut today. It was getting a bit long at the back, so I needed to tidy it up. Favorite scene in No Time to Die? You just want me to say the ending, don't you? No, I'm not going to say the ending. There's loads of favorite moments. Obviously, if you haven't seen No Time to Die, I'll try not to spoil it. But yeah, I like the opening scene actually quite a lot in Matera. The beginning act, the first act actually, and the opening in Norway is really good. But all the stuff with the opening with Bond and Madeline is really cool, and how Blofeld is integrated into that. I think the Cuba section is awesome as well, with Paloma and Felix and Logan Ash, and just visually that looks so good. Like Blofeld's birthday party, I mean, that's just genius. That's brilliant. So many moments in No Time to Die that I love. I can't pick a favorite, but those would be some of my favorites. Hi Jermaine, yeah, it's going all right, thanks. Most brutal character death in the Star Wars movies for you? I don't know, actually. Maybe Darth Maul. Darth Maul's death is pretty brutal, or Jango Fett. They both get sliced, although Jango Fett gets beheaded and Darth Maul gets sliced in half. I don't know, like if you class that as brutal, but maybe. I don't know if this isn't a death, but one of the most brutal scenes I thought was Anakin getting burnt on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, I'm stuttering there. I mean, he actually dies in Return of the Jedi, but the scene where he gets burnt, that's pretty brutal. I mean, it's not where he dies. Well, effectively, he dies and becomes Darth Vader. I mean, I don't know if George was going for kind of a Jesus parallel there, him dying on the cross and then coming back, or whatever. Well, no, I don't think they forgot to do world building in Eternals. I just think that the world building itself was boring. I honestly think, I said this in my review of Eternals, what they should have done is approached it as a Disney Plus TV series, because then they would have had more time to develop each character and it would have been a bit more interesting and not so long. Then people could have digested it a lot easier than doing it in a 2-hour 37-minute film, which was just an exposition dump. And it was some of the action was okay, but it's Marvel's most boring movie. It really is, and it's such a shame. Such a shame. I was looking forward to it. Who do you think is a better or worse filmmaker, Zack Snyder or Michael Bay? I guess I have to go with Zack Snyder is slightly better than Michael Bay. Michael Bay can tell a story to save his life. Michael Bay actually could be a decent cinematographer. Like, he could be a good visual effects supervisor, but he's not a great director, to be honest. Would you say I Need a Hero is the best Shrek song? Yes, definitely. Yes, somebody mentioned earlier, Zach, that I had a haircut. I went to the barber's today and I had a haircut. So, and I didn't I normally slick my hair back, but today I haven't. I've just left it kind of, this is how naturally my hair is. It sort of parts down here. No, but opinions changed, so I wasn't sure. Well, don't worry, Sam. My opinions on Let's Kill Hitler and Asylum of the Daleks haven't changed. I mean, I both gave them extreme, epic, major effing rants. So, take that how you will. I haven't seen No Time to Die. Would you recommend it? If you're a James Bond fan, yes. I would advise watching all the Daniel Craig movies. So watch the first 4 films before you see it. So watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre before you see No Time to Die. Otherwise, you may struggle to figure out what's going on. But I really enjoyed it. If you are a James Bond fan, of course, then just go into it expecting something good. The ending may or may not divide you, depending on how much of a Bond fan you are. But I was personally okay with it. But again, some people aren't. So, yeah. I'd say it's worth seeing it on the big screen because it looks beautiful. Such a really, really visually great-looking movie. It's brilliant. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Are you looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion? Have you seen the shorter film Battle of Big Rock? I haven't seen the shorter film, and I am actually looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion. I think it could be a good conclusion to the series. I mean, it probably won't be. They'll probably make more, but I think, to be honest, concluding it with Dominion would be good. I mean, it sounds like they're bringing all the old cast back and merging them with the new cast. They're doing kind of like a X-Men Days of Future Past, but they're combining the casts together. And I honestly do think Jurassic World Dominion should be, and maybe will be, the last one. I don't know. Depends how financially successful it is. But I'm looking forward to it, because I actually like Fallen Kingdom. I'm actually one of the few people that really enjoys Fallen Kingdom, and I like the ending. It's set up something pretty good, pretty spectacular, and I'd like to see the payoff to that. So, yeah, favorite location in No Time to Die? Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, that's difficult. It's a toss-up between Matera or Jamaica. I think between those two, I don't know. I think I might go with. I mean, they're both beautiful. I might go with Jamaica actually because I like the vibrancy, especially in that club scene when Bond is talking to Felix and Logan Ash about the scientist. Just the colors and the lighting and everything is just beautiful. And then when Bond and Nomi go back to his house, just looks brilliant. Would you agree Asylum of the Daleks is one of the most boring stories? Yeah, it is. How much did I miss? Not much. I've only been on for 10 minutes, so it's fine. How do you think the Jurassic Park films would look today if JP4 was made as early as 2005? I don't know. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't look much better than the third film, like in terms of the CGI. It might look a bit cleaner, but I don't know, man. It's hard to really say. Yeah. Do you think the runtime for Eternals should have been cut down a bit? Yes, absolutely. It really does. And thank you for the compliment about the haircut. Do you think there should have been 2 parters in Series 7, or does it not bother you? I mean, there could have been, but it doesn't bother me. I think maybe they could have had maybe at least 2 parters, but because of the way they split the series, I suppose it doesn't matter, really. I've seen the first 4 Daniel Craig Bond films. Oh, okay. So then you can jump into No Time to Die and sort of follow it. Which actors do you think would have played Doctor Who if it kept going in the early 90s and early 2000s? Good question. I don't know. Nigel Havers could have been a good Doctor. Would they have chosen a comedian? Maybe. It's hard to say. I don't know. 90s people. I don't know. Who do you think is the most tragic character in the rebooted Apes trilogy? Well, obviously Caesar is the obvious choice, but aside from him, I would actually say the Colonel, from War for the Planet of the Apes, because he had to do extreme things for, the greater good, and that involved, spoiler alert, killing his own son. But then you could argue every character has some tragedy, like James Franco's character in the first film. He lost his dad due to the Alzheimer's thing, and Kova as well, I suppose, is another tragic character. He fell from grace after he was mistreated by humanity, and he could only know hate. So I suppose that's tragic in a way. Gary Oldman's character as well, he lost his family. So there's everybody, I think. But the most tragic, definitely Caesar, and probably the Colonel. Yeah. Excuse me. Right, I need to go back up a bit. I've lost where I was. Opinion on Elliot Carver's death in Tomorrow Never Dies. I've already been asked this question before, Sam. You asked me this last time. What was your initial reaction when you first saw Tomorrow Never Dies? I don't know. When I first saw it, I thought it was all right, but that was kind of when I was just getting into James Bond. On rewatches, it was just... I could never get into it. I'm sorry. No offense to any Pierce Brosnan fans. I'm just not a big fan of his films. I just think that the only good film he has is GoldenEye. I'm sorry. Although The World Is Not Enough is okay. The other 2 are crap, as far as I'm concerned. How does the original JP4 script sound to you? It was going to involve Grant and Malcolm leading a team around Costa Rica coasts with swimming and flying dinosaurs. Trying to make it outside the islands. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a typical Jurassic Park script. It sounds like, I mean, it doesn't sound like it's much different to the first 3. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your mental health issues. I hope you be okay. But definitely, watch the film when you can. It's worth seeing. I mean, if you do still find a cinema that's playing it, then good luck. If not, then you can just wait for it to be on rental. Was 2019 your favorite year for movies ever? That's a good question. There are a lot of great movies in 2019. I don't know, actually. I don't know what my favorite year for movies was, but of recent years, 2019 was pretty good. I think it was pretty good. Yeah. Would you agree that Logan Ash was a weak henchman? He was okay. I thought he was all right. I mean, he was totally serviceable for what he had. I suppose he could have had a bit more depth, but he's a henchman. Yeah. He didn't bother me that much. What colors look good and terrible on you? Well, that's not for me to decide, is it? I don't know. Like I've always thought like really bright colors don't suit me very well. It's not because I'm a man or anything. It's I don't know. Like some of my shirts tend to be more darker colors. I don't know. I've just been more of a fan of darker colors. Oh, thank you, Harry. That's very kind of you. Oh, funny, we both got our haircuts on the same day. Well, mine needed to be done. Would you say Jurassic Park hasn't worn out its welcome as much as something like Transformers and Fast and Furious? Yeah, I mean, perhaps, but I think if they if they continue the series after the next film, I think they probably will. It will of course carry on. I'm certain that they'll probably carry it on. So I think it will wear out its welcome at some point. And I'm just being honest, but yeah, Fast and Furious, there's like, what, 9 or 10 films now or something like that. And Transformers is, I think, still going on. I mean, I watched Transformers as a guilty pleasure up to a point, like the first 3 movies with Michael Bay. I watched them and I turn my brain off and I don't think about the filmmaking, and it's just a pleasant enough experience. But the 4th and 5th ones with Mark Wahlberg, oh, they were not good. Do you think Eternals might be the last Jedi of the MCU? Yeah, I mean, I said that in my review. It was this could be the last Jedi of the MCU. It's quite divisive, but I think for the most part, it looks to be not being received very well. I don't think it's going to be in cinemas that long. I think by the time Spidey's out, Eternals will be gone. I don't think anyone is going to watch it for that long. It'll be on Disney Plus in January, I reckon. Since Peacemaker's getting his own HBO show, would you be interested in seeing anyone else from the Suicide Squad get their own spin-off? Maybe Harley Quinn, but that's about it, really. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a poster there I got at Bond in Motion a few years ago before it closed due to COVID. I got that poster before No Time to Die was announced, so it's quite an old poster. I'd like to update it at some point. I do on the other side. You can't see it, but I have a No Time to Die poster, but it's one of the original ones. It says April 2020 on it. So I got that off Amazon just to kind of complete the Bond posters. But I do have this, which I got at the cinema when I saw No Time to Die the first time. It's the popcorn tub. And I decided to keep it. It has a few of the characters on there. And yeah. It's a bit dusty in there. But yeah, it's more for like memory's sake than anything else. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed receiving that. If Dominion was to be the last film, do you think, like me, even if you don't care for this dino, the Spinosaurus should make an appearance? Yeah, maybe. I suppose they would go all out to. I suppose they would go all out to get as many as they could. Now, Sam, you did ask the question. Or, well, if it wasn't you, somebody asked me the question, because I've definitely heard the question before. Do you think that Brosnan should have done a 5th Bond film to fix the screw-up of the franchise that was Die Another Day? Potentially. I mean, he could have gone out on a high note, but to be honest, I think the damage was done too much in Die Another Day. I think it was the right time to reboot the franchise with Casino Royale. So I don't know how much they would have changed, the style of Brosnan's movies. I think it probably would have been more of the same. Brosnan was up for doing a 5th movie, but they just let him go, which is a shame. Do you think Doctor Doom could be the next big MCU bad guy after Loki and Thanos? I don't know about a big MCU bad guy, but I could definitely see him in the MCU, again, in the Fantastic Four movie, but I don't know if he'd be like the overall main villain of the whole series. I don't know if that would happen. Top 5 least favorite Lord of the Rings characters. Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't actually hate any of the Lord of the Rings characters, but ones that I would say are... Let's go with the ones that are the most sort of despicable. My top 5... I suppose I do like the best like villains. I could say so, like Saruman, I suppose, the Witch King, Gollum. I mean, I love the character, but I also hate him because he's so evil. He's manipulative. So yeah, Saruman, Gollum, the Witch King. I suppose I have to say Sauron by default. Who else do I not particularly care for? Lord of the Rings. Denethor. Yes, I don't like Denethor. I think I understand he was grieving, but yeah, he's an arsehole. He's an absolute arsehole. If Bond movies kept coming out every 2 years, how many movies would you expect each actor post Roger to get? Well, if it was a 2-year cycle, I think an actor would probably do maybe about, well, because if you think about it, like in a decade, you could probably do about 5, maybe 4 or 5 movies. It just depends. It really depends. But I don't know how many films the next guy will do. I think he should do at least 3 to see how things go, and hopefully he can win the audience over. Craig did 5 movies over quite a long period of time. It just depends, really. Do you like cheesy 80s and 90s action films? Yeah, I don't mind them. Which era of films is more interesting to you? You put 60s twice in that question, so I'll probably say the 70s. Yeah, the 70s for me. But I'm not against the 60s or any other era, but yeah, that one's probably more interesting. If you're making a Godzilla movie, would you have him fight a classic Toho monster or your own original one? Maybe my own original one, just to put it out there. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan. Like, I don't mind the movies, but yeah, so like questions like which monster would do this and what, I won't be able to answer in much detail because I'm just not as much of a fan as you are, Awesome Productions, but I appreciate the question nonetheless. If you could change history, would you just, instead of Brosnan doing a 5th film, just make Die Another Day a good movie? Yeah, I would do that. Get someone else to direct it and make it a good movie. Would you be interested in Batman Unchained, the intended 5th Batman movie after Batman and Robin? Yeah, maybe. I mean, if it wasn't directed by Joel Schumacher, then maybe. Yeah, it would have been okay. Reading on Dolph Lundgren, the bodyguard of Mayday in A View to a Kill. I haven't seen Rocky IV, but yeah, I suppose he's okay in The View to a Kill. He doesn't do that much. He kind of stands around. But yeah. No, it's all right, Sam. Don't worry. I mean, it's not a problem, but I have noticed sometimes you do repeat the questions that you already asked, but it's okay. It's fine. What superpower do you think Jack will finally lock onto when he's older and form a personality? I don't know. I mean, technically, he has. I mean, he can sort of phase. I guess he can kind of shapeshift and change into different things. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah. I guess if he were to lock onto one ability, perhaps it would be the I mean, because he's like an interdimensional baby. He can go into other dimensions. So maybe that. I don't know. Is the answer to that. What's your opinion on Mummy on the Orient Express? What can you remember from it? I remember thinking it was pretty good fun. Yeah. Some movie locations you'd like to visit. I'd love to visit New Zealand because Lord of the Rings was filmed there. I'd love to go there. I personally found Logan Ash annoying. Okay, fair enough. Favorite color and why? Again, I think I answered that last time. Do you think there's potential for Ice Age to get better again now Disney owns it? To be honest, I don't care. Maybe if they do a Disney Plus series, perhaps, but I honestly think the Ice Age series is done. I think they should have really stopped at the 3rd one. It was a pretty nice trilogy, but 4 and 5 are not good. I don't know why they bothered with them, other than the money, of course. But yeah. Are you a neat or messy person? Are you asking that because of my... I'm not normally this messy, I promise. I am actually tidier than some of my family. Like, I do organize my shit quite well. It's just this room is so small that I have to sometimes shove things in the corner. But generally speaking, I'm quite neat and tidy for the most part. You know, I do leave a couple of things lying around, but not to the extent where it's like chaotic. You know. How would you make The Mummy 3 better than how it is? Actually write a script. Okay, I'm being harsh. Look, I think The Mummy 3, I appreciate it trying something different, but the fact that it was set in China, I think maybe was the problem. Maybe it should have just been set in ancient Egypt, and about an actual mummy, because the mummy, the Dragon Emperor wasn't actually turned to stone. Sorry, he wasn't a mummy, he was turned to stone. So calling it The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, it's just weird. And I don't know, the story about the Emperor is basically immortal. Like, how can one little dagger kill him? I just think it's stupid, because the fact is he can control all the elements. So it makes him look... It just contradicts the character, because he's supposed to be this all-powerful emperor who can control the elements, and then one little dagger can kill him. I just think that's dumb. I think the script needed a big rewrite. But I can't deny, when I saw it, it was nice to see the characters back, despite the fact that Rachel Weisz was recast, but still. Maria Bello was good. Do you think the sexualization of Aunt May is... Oh, fuck, I've lost where the question was. Do you think the sexualization of Aunt May in the MCU is weird? Yes, very weird, particularly in Homecoming, sorry. What was your initial reaction of the Master being turned into a woman? I was just like, okay, really? Is there a point to this? It seemed like they just did it as a novelty thing, and they didn't do it for the right reasons, much like they're changing the Doctor into a woman. It wasn't... I don't really know how much of a twist it was. And again, Michelle Gomez is a good actress, and I like her performance, but I don't know. It was just strange. I mean, that whole story was kind of strange. Capaldi's era has some strange stories. Would you replace The Mummy 2017 with The Mummy 4? Just Tom Cruise playing Brendan Fraser's son more grown up. Well, they had Brendan Fraser's son grown up in the third one, who suddenly had an American accent after being British in the second one. Yeah, I would have preferred a fourth Mummy movie to the reboot, which was awful. Oh my god, the Tom Cruise Mummy film was terrible. Opinion on the second trailer for Batman? Yeah, very good. I like the look of it. I think Matt Reeves has got this. I think it's going to be a good film. What's the worst example of shaky cam in a movie? I hate to say this, but actually the Bourne movies, where like you're filming a fight scene and it's so close on and the camera's just constantly moving around like this, why can't we just go wide? Why can't we just go wide, follow it more closely like this? You know, why does the camera have to shake? It's not hard to just hold the camera still. You can move with the action with a steady cam. It's not difficult. I don't understand why there's this constant problem of shaky cam. It's got to stop. It really has, because it's ruining action sequences in movies. Even Marvel are slipping on some of their action. Like, sometimes action is too close on and you can't see what's going on. I think going wider on action is sometimes better. It's okay to go close for some of the more intense close-ups and for like dramatic moments, but for moments when people are just throwing punches, like going like this close, you know, you can't see what's going on. Like, you could see my arms just flying across the screen. That's literally all that happens. You're looking forward to watching Series 10 of Doctor Who? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I've got to get through Hellbent first, so it's not going to be fun. But never mind. Ideas for levels in Lego Fantastic Beasts? Oh, that's a good question. It'll take me a while to answer this one. For the first movie, the first level would probably be Newt's entering New York, meeting Tina and Jacob at the bank. Second level, going to the flat, like the apartment, like Tina and Queenie's house, and into the case. Third level, the Eurumpet, is that the name of it? The big sort of elephant-looking creature when they go to the zoo. Fourth level. Escaping the Makuza. When Tina's in the chair, escaping Makuza. Fifth level. I don't know. What could the fifth level be? Fifth level could be, when they catch the snake, the big snake creature. And then the last level, of course, is the subway when they're confronting Credence. That's the first movie. Crimes of Grindelwald. The first level, obviously, the opening scene when Grindelwald escapes prison. Then the second level, possibly Newt and Jacob going to Paris. That would be good. Third level, Tina going to the circus place, I think, where they meet Nagini. Fourth level, fourth level could possibly be. I don't know actually. What could the fourth level be? Fourth level could be Lita's backstory in Hogwarts. That could be cool. Fifth level, escaping the French Ministry of Magic. And sixth level is the final standoff with Grindelwald. Yeah, just rough ideas there, but that's all I can think of. Do you think animated films should strive for longer runtimes, like 2.5 hours, rather than the same runtime? You know what? I don't think it's a necessity, but if they feel that the films should be longer, then good for them. But obviously, it's just more work for animating a film that's 2.5 hours long. It's going to take a long time, and rendering keyframes, as Pixar have described, takes months to make it look really good. It's doable, but it just takes a long time. So I think they have to base it on the script, like how long they choose to make their scripts will reflect how long the movies are. I think the longest Pixar film is I think it's The Incredibles 2. It's like just shy of 2 hours. And that must have taken ages to animate. But if Pixar made a 2.5 hour film, I would watch it. But the runtimes have got to be warranted. I don't think they should necessarily strive for the runtime, but if they chose to do it, I'd be open to watching the movie. Would you agree that James Bond is one of the best movie characters ever? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a fan of James Bond. What do you think was the exact moment that Batman and Robin killed the franchise? Probably the opening dialogue. I want a car. Chicks dig the car. This is why Superman works alone. Oh dear. Is the Doctor your favorite TV character out of interest? Quite possibly. Did you know Primeval sort of got a reboot recently? It's now called L.A. Bree. It's not as good as Primeval because it's more focused on the humans. I didn't know about that. No. Oh, thanks for telling me. Oh, happy birthday, Nick. I hope you have a good day. What's your opinion on Indiana Jones 5 being delayed? Yeah, I mean, I don't care anymore. I've given up with my opinion on Indiana Jones 5. I think it's probably going to suck. Harrison Ford's just too old. I mean, he's already injured himself on set. I mean, I think they're hushing up probably several more injuries. I bet he's injured himself more than they're saying. Hence, why else would they delay it? If he's... face it, Harrison, you're not physically able to play this role anymore. It's too late. You had 4 goes at it. This 5th movie is going to be a disaster. And what's the bet that they're going to kill off Indiana Jones at the end? I mean, it is becoming a trend that main characters get killed. It just is. So, I don't know. It's kind of like, what more can they do with Indiana Jones? He's an old man. Let him stay in his care home for all I care. I mean, I'll go and see the movie, but I'm not excited for it. Are you glad you watched the classic series of Doctor Who? Yeah, I think somebody asked me this before. Yeah, I'm glad I saw it because I got to review it, which was good. Do you think Andy Serkis was miscast as Alfred in the upcoming Batman film? Well, I mean, it's hard to say at the moment because I haven't seen the movie, but I think he looks okay. I think Andy Serkis can basically play anything. It's nice to see him play a role that isn't focused on motion capture, you know. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be decent enough. But I always think that Michael Caine is the best Alfred. I mean, I didn't think Michael Caine would be right for that role, but actually he is really good as Alfred. That trilogy is just, for me, Christian Bale's the best Batman. Sorry, it's just my opinion. Do you like salmon? Yes. Beef or pork sausages? Probably pork. If you were writing Primeval, how would you have killed off Cutter? If they had to die, I would have definitely had him confront Helen at the end of Series 3, you know, where Danny was. And perhaps, you know, Cutter may well have lived out the rest of his days like Danny did, like sort of in the prehistoric era. Maybe he just would have died of natural causes, or maybe he would have died finding an answer to the Claudia Brown mystery. I don't know. I would have made his death emotional, maybe, or I think, yeah, maybe he could have died in the forest, and then Abby and Connor could have chased Helen down. Maybe Helen could have shot him in the forest. I don't know, or maybe found a way to bring it full circle. Like, you know, it could have, like, the last episode could have taken place where him and Helen met, maybe, or when they first sort of discovered the anomalies, and he could have died there. I don't know, it would have been quite symbolic. There are better ways they could have done it, basically. Do you prefer the Smith or Capaldi era? I think they're kind of even Stevens, to be honest. Ask me that question again when I've reviewed Peter Capaldi. So ask me next year. Would you agree it's a bit selfish of Bond in Honor Majesty's Secret Service to sleep with those women? Yeah, I mean, it was kind of unnecessary. Those parts of the film could have been taken out. I don't know if selfish is the right word. I suppose. I mean, Bond is always been kind of a sleaze, really. But yeah, I guess yes is the answer to that question. Would you rather see a fifth Brosnan film or a sequel to Batman and Robin? A fifth Brosnan movie. Did you always love Majesties, or did you find it slow at first, considering it was the longest Bond movie up to that point? Well, actually, no. Casino Royale was longer by like 2 minutes. But yeah, I did find it slow the first time I saw it, but and I was never keen on Lazenby, but I always loved the film. I always thought it was a really beautiful film, and I still think it is. Do you prefer Kamal Khan or Zorin as a Bond villain? That's a good question. Maybe Zorin, actually. Maybe Zorin, yeah, he's a bit more despicable. Oh, no, it's all right, Sam. You don't have to apologize for that. You know, I forget things as well. Some people have criticized Molly killing Bellatrix rather than Neville, given what happens to his parents. Well, I think in that moment, it was probably right for Molly, because when she said, "Not my daughter, you bitch," you know, she was defending her daughter. So, you know, there's something in that. And I guess it's kind of like I suppose a moment for, you know, like sort of a moment for mothers to, you know, I think it was kind of meant to be symbolic to Harry's mum defending him when he was young. So, but in this case, good prevailed. So I suppose it was meant to be symbolic to that. But I guess on a dramatic level, yes, Neville probably should have killed her. But you know, it is what it is. Or maybe they both could have done it. Maybe Neville and Molly could have done it. But yeah, it's a good question. Are you aware of the Jurassic Park 3 script where it would be about when the dinosaurs were brought back? Prehistoric virus was brought back too. Would have been seen as an omen for COVID. I didn't know about that version of the script, but yeah, thank God they didn't go for that. Yeah, you can call me Hilly. That's kind of a cringy scene. How would you have Dominion end? And since you prefer it for the, what? How would you have Dominion end since you prefer for it to be the end of the series? I don't know. I think it's either going to be. I think it's going to be some kind of. I could see the film being a post-apocalyptic thing, like the dinosaurs have destroyed a lot of the world. I don't think it's a case of the humans and dinosaurs being able to coexist. I think it's us or them. I think either one or the other will prevail. I think either humans will prevail or the dinosaurs will. I think some characters may still feel sympathy for the dinosaurs, others probably won't. And I guess it depends. Maybe the world will just fall apart. Maybe all the humans will die. Or they will wipe out the dinosaurs. I can't see both of them living together by the end. Or if they just dump them on another island. I just don't think that would work. That would be kind of anticlimactic. CG or practical effects? Both, because it depends on the movie. Would you like to see a Bond film in a very dark, almost horror movie setting? Something similar to the climax of Live and Let Die? Well, you say that, but actually I can't say because you haven't seen No Time to Die, but there's the beginning of No Time to Die felt like a very like a dark horror film. You'll understand when you watch it, but yeah, there's some scary bits in that. Like Lucifer Safin in that opening scene is quite terrifying. Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? No. Do you agree the original Bond series went on a bit too long with Brosnan and they should have rebooted it earlier? Well, I mean, 4 films isn't necessarily long. I mean, if you count all 20 films, maybe. But I think the series is always going to have fans. So I mean, people argue that it's too long now, but with 25 films. But I'm happy for it to go on. Favorite Moneypenny scene? I don't know. I love the scene in Skyfall where she shaves him. I think they have a great friendship. It's a bit of banter, but it's only playful. It's never going to be that romantic. But I also like some of the Roger Moore scenes with Moneypenny as well. Lois Maxwell has some classic moments. Excuse me. Right. Would you agree that the scene in Helmet when the general was male bashing after she regenerated should not have been allowed, and that it's a disgrace to TV history? Yeah, they probably should have not done that. It was definitely pushing the agenda. I thought it was just really distasteful. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the story, so I will be reviewing it at some point. So don't worry, I'll express my opinion on it when I get to the rant. Where's the question? What if Nick had to kill himself instead of the raptor? Perhaps, yeah, maybe if he jumped off the cliff with her, so maybe they ended it as they started it together. That might have been nice. Yeah, I mean, I like Christian Bale's growly voice because he's trying to disguise himself. I mean, maybe it's a bit over the top, but I still quite like it. Miss Kyle, so that's what it feels like. A man. Yeah, it is a bit much, but still, I think it's kind of fun. Danny Quinn should have been the team leader in Series 4. Yes, I agree with that. Matt Blanderson, what a waste. Any plans to watch and review Marvel's What If? No, I don't plan to review it, to be honest. Maybe I'll watch it. I have Disney Plus, so maybe I'll consider it, but I haven't got any plans at the moment. Would you have Danny and Patrick's situation in Primeval take both Series 4... Sorry, take both Series 4 and 5, or be told within Series 4's 7 episodes? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, they could have just spread it out. It seemed like they were setting it up to be continued, but then Series 5 just ignored it. So they should have explained it over a series, but it never happened, sadly. Why did they add that in? It was just terrible. Best looking of the old Bond movies and why? For me, I'd say Majesty's, We Only Live Twice, Spy Love Me, Octopussy looks great. Octopussy looks fine. Yeah, I'd say that looks good. I'd definitely say You Only Live Twice, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Thunderball, Goldfinger. I actually think The Living Daylights looks pretty sweet, and Live and Let Die actually looks really, really cool. Like the cinematography for that. But most of the Bond films have great cinematography. What are your thoughts on Jurassic Park 3? It's all right. They could have gone further with the emotion of the family story, but considering it's an all action movie, I mean, the action is okay and it's fun. The spectacle's there. It's 90 minutes. It's all right, but I don't care for it. It's better than The Lost World for me. Would you like to visit James Bond Island in Thailand one day? Yeah, maybe. That would be quite cool. Do you like Stranger Things? I haven't actually seen it. I'm really sorry. Do you think Rosa Kleb's death is a bit rushed or works well? I didn't think it was that rushed. I quite liked it for what it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Would you be interested in seeing a major TV drama like Game of Thrones or is Dark Materials based on Greek mythology? That might be cool. Yeah, that might be cool. I'm interested in Greek mythology, so that would be interesting. The dinosaurs wiped out humanity in Dominion. Would you be sad or relieved that the films are over? I don't know how I'd feel, to be honest. I'd probably feel content with the ending. I mean, as long as it has some kind of resolution, I would be satisfied. If On Her Majesty's Secret Service didn't have the love story, would it still be one of your favourite Bond films? No, don't worry. It's fine. I don't think you've asked this before. I don't know. It's hard to say because the film was trying so hard to be different. I think, to be honest, if it didn't have the love story, it would probably just be another, more of the same, just a fun ride, much like the Sean Connery films. Yeah, I think the love story is a big part of what makes it stand out because it's so different. It was the most different one up to that point. So again, it's hard to say, but I'd say probably yeah. I don't know if it would be one of my favorites because I do think the emotion of that film is beautiful, despite George Lazenby's wooden performance. But yeah, Diana Rigg was brilliant in that movie. Actually, Diana Rigg is in Last Night in Soho. If you get a chance to go and see that, it was one of her last films. Sadly. What do you think on my potential not so fun theory about Syndrome killing his parents within the film gap as a way for them not to interfere with his genocide plans? Yeah, I mean, it could work, and it makes Syndrome's character a lot darker. I mean, whether Pixar would ever go for that is another question, but I think that's a plausible theory. Is there a sci-fi show you haven't seen but you want to? Battlestar Galactica is a show I haven't seen. I actually haven't seen the original Star Trek series. Maybe I'll check that out one day. Hard to believe Skyfall was 10 years old next year. Yeah, actually, it's weird. Skyfall being 10 years old next year. That's crazy. And No Time to Die will be 1 year old. Do you like cakes or you're not a fan of them? Come on, Sam. Look at me. You know I like cakes. I'm not a sweet tooth. I don't have cakes all the time. I'm more of a savory person, but I am partial to cakes. I'll always eat one if it's offered to me. Certain things I can't have in cakes, like certain fruits, like I can't have like apples or pears or something like that. But so generally, yeah, I like cakes. Do you think Bond lost some of its magic after the end of the Cold War era? I don't think so. I just think maybe they went back to basics with Brosnan, and then they went a bit too outlandish with it. But I think since Daniel Craig, they've managed to bring it to a new place and bring it into the modern day. So I think that they've done a good job under the circumstances. Right. Okay, next question. Opinion on biscuits. What's your favorite biscuit and why? It's a good question. I've always liked milk chocolate digestives. I don't know. I like chocolate and I like biscuits together. But I also like stuff like Jammy Dodgers, not because of Doctor Who, just generally. And like custard creams. Yeah, I think maybe custard creams are my favorite biscuits. I don't know. I just like the center of them. I think they're nice. I think they're tasty. Yeah, I would have had more fun if Danny was the lead in series 4 and 5. He was a much better leader than Matt Blanderson. I mean, Cutter is easily the best team leader, but when push comes to shove. Yeah, Kevin Conroy is a very good Batman as well. What do you think is the best Primeval episode and the worst episode? The worst one? Series 5, Episode 3. And the best one, actually, I have two choices here. Actually, no, one choice. Series 2, Episode 7. That is probably the best episode of the show. That is just epic. It's really good. Series 2 is my favorite Primeval series. It's just so good. There's only one thing that ruins it, but otherwise it's really good. Do you think the MCU will inevitably run out of steam by the end of the 2020s? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it'll run out of money because Disney own it, but whether people's interest will stay, perhaps. It depends what they do. Do you think Schwarzenegger should have played Bane in Batman and Robin instead of Mr. Freeze? Maybe. I don't think it would have made much difference. I still think he wouldn't have been great because given what they did to Bane in that film, I don't think anyone could have played him and made it, convincing. All he did was stand there going, Bane! Yeah. Do you think they should have kept the arc building from Series 2 and 3 and Series 4? Yes, I do. I think the only reason they changed it was because they went to film in Ireland in Series 4 and 5, which is why a lot of things are different, and why Sarah Page didn't return. Layla Rouse didn't want to film in Ireland, so... I mean, it was a bit harsh that they killed her off. Like, they just wrote her out and they said, oh, she died trying to save the others. Well, what a shit way to go. Oh, thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, I have been told about Stranger Things, and I will try and watch it. I do have Netflix, so I should be able to watch it. Do you think Patrick Stewart would have made a good Mr. Freeze? Well, I think it would have been better. He's certainly more of an actor than Arnold Schwarzenegger, in my opinion. Casino Royale. Oh, okay, you went up to that point. Fair enough. Top 5 favorite Disney female characters. I'm assuming you mean like the Disney princesses. Well, I'll say the princesses. I really like Mulan. She's really cool. Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Well, I guess I have a crush on her. That's probably why. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Nala from The Lion King. And Jasmine from Aladdin. I suppose they would be the ones, but there's so many that are great. There's just so many that are brilliant. Thoughts on the YouTuber Calvin Dyson? Oh yeah, I love Calvin Dyson. He's a great guy. He seems really nice, and his opinions can be very nitpicky at times, but I understand it's because he's a passionate Bond fan. He has his own personal box ticking that he likes when he reviews a Bond film. But his channel's so in depth, and I think he's definitely one of the best James Bond YouTubers out there. Came across his channel about 8 years ago, about 8 or 9 years ago. Certainly after I saw Skyfall in the cinema, when I started to get into James Bond, I came across his old reviews. Yeah, he's improved his channel so much. He deserves all the success. And if he's, I doubt he's watching this, but if he is, then good job, Calvin. You've earned it. Have you seen any of the Rocky films or the spin-off Creed? I've seen Creed, but I've not seen the Rocky films. Don't know if they really appeal to me, to be honest. I mean, Creed was fine. Like, I enjoyed it. It was good, but I don't think I'd watch it again. It's not really... Boxing films, not really my type of thing. Although I did watch Raging Bull. That was an amazing film. Do you think Blofeld having an American accent is weird? No, it didn't bother me for that film. It was all right. Do you think it'd be better for Jurassic World to continue through this supposedly upcoming live-action TV show whilst the movies take a rest? Yeah, perhaps do it as a TV series for those who want it. Maybe they'll aim it more for kids. I suppose that is the direction they'll go in, but who knows? Would you agree Telly Savalas would have been a great Lex Luthor? Yeah, I think he could have been, actually. Yeah, you're right. Top 3 favorite villain quotes. I am your father, of course. Long live the king. And other ones. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Those ones. Do you prefer the ski chase in Majesty's or For Your Eyes Only, and why? Probably Majesty's. I don't know. It was just a bit more epic, but the For Your Eyes Only chase was still good. Actually, the ski chase in For Your Eyes Only is probably my favorite scene in the film. I know. I've just the Majesty's one. I think just because of the soundtrack as well. It's just a bit more epic. Last question. What is the next film you plan to review for the DreamWorks films? Oh, that's a good question. I want to try and review Spirit, like the first one. That would be good. I'm not sure for definite which one I will review. I think of the ones I'm missing. Rise of the Guardians, actually. I'll try and make that the next one. Rise of the Guardians, because people keep telling me that's an amazing film. So I should try and do that. But thanks, Lauren, for asking all your questions. Much appreciated. How do you think Sarah would have played a role in Series 5? I don't think her role would have been that different. Maybe she would have got more involved in the action, but I don't think there was much more they could do with her. She was kind of an Egyptologist. So I don't know if her role, like, because she studied the artifact, I don't know if she would just have been in the Ark the whole time. Like, they didn't utilize her that much in Series 3 when I rewatched it. So I don't know. They could have, they could do things a bit differently, but yeah. Favorite Lois Maxwell Moneypenny scene and why? Oh, so many. I like any of the scenes she has with Sean Connery. They're good. Scene with Roger Moore is good. I like the scene where she says, "My problem is you never did anything with me." I think that might have been the Lazenby scene. I know she's had so many scenes. I can't choose. I can't remember all the scenes she's had. I'm sorry. Do you think 2005 to 10 was when a new Doctor Who was at its best? Yeah, I mean, well, I think certainly till 2009, when David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston were there. I mean, Matt Smith. I mean, I'm reviewing Matt Smith's here at the moment. I like the guy. I think he's a good Doctor, Matt Smith. But the stories the writing quality certainly went downhill in 2010. Although Series 5 is easily, for me, Matt Smith's best series. But Stephen Moffat kind of dropped the ball on a number of occasions, sadly. If Series 3 was done with Cutter in all 10 episodes and epically dying at the end, do you think it could have been considered the best Primeval? Fuck off, Siri. Sorry, my Siri just turns itself on. I don't know why. Yeah, I think it could have been the best. It had potential to be the best, and I think a good conclusion to the show had that been the intention, but I guess not. Favorite remake? King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I actually prefer it to the original. Sue me. Best and worst parent or parental figure you have ever seen in media? That's a good question. Well, in the film Chicken Little, the dad, Buck Cluck, that is a chicken. Not a great dad. But then again, Darth Vader's not been a particularly great parent either. When you look at what happened to his kids, I mean, he ended up ruling the galaxy with the Emperor for many years. So, in Star Wars, Darth Vader, I suppose, is the obvious choice. Yeah. Favorite horror franchise? I don't really had one. I suppose A Quiet Place. I like the A Quiet Place films a lot. Alien, yeah, the Alien series is good. Not all of the movies are great, but some of them are. So yeah, probably those. Oh, thank you, Tyler. That's really kind of you. I really appreciate the views and everything. I hope you keep watching. Thank you. DVDs, Blu-rays, or streaming? Blu-rays. Although actually no, both. I had to say both because I do watch Disney Plus and Netflix quite a lot. Well, mainly Disney Plus. But I do collect Blu-rays still, although not as many this time. I can't always afford it now. But I will be getting, like, the films I know I'm going to watch regularly, like all the time, I collect on Blu-ray. I've started to not buy as many new Blu-rays because of streaming. So if I didn't have Disney Plus or Netflix, then I would probably collect a lot more. But there we go. Right, what's the time? I'll probably give it another few minutes. Would you have been interested if the Primeval novels were extra episodes of the series or TV movie specials airing between each series. I mean, if they were made into like visual content, that would have been nice. Yeah, whatever format, that would have been cool. Favorite pre-title scene to a Bond film? I'm probably gonna have to go with Skyfall. That opening to Skyfall is so good, just amazing. It's almost a little short film in itself. It's so epic. What a great 12 minutes. Favorite Daniel Craig Bond villain? Silver from Skyfall, easily. If you had to pick a favorite character from Raya and the Last Dragon, who would it be? Trying to remember all the characters. I don't know. There weren't many characters that I thought were amazing. I forget her name actually, but the other female character, the one that Raya had the issue with. Oh fuck, what's her name? I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name, but you know who I mean? The other girl in the film who ends up almost killing Sisu, the dragon. I only watched the film once. I didn't care for it that much, to be honest. Do you prefer Judy Hopps or Nick Wilde? I think you asked me this before. I like both. I don't know. I mean, Judy's a very driven character, but Nick Wilde is also a good character. I'll go with Nick just because he's slightly more charming. Yeah, but Judy's great. Do you think Tracy should have been in On Her Majesty's more, considering she's not there for quite a bit? Maybe, yeah, she could have been in it a bit more. But I liked what she had in it, and you still believe the love story. They should have carried on with the myths and legends in Primeval Series 4. Yeah, they could have done that. It did feel a bit unresolved in Series 3. Would you agree it's a bit weird how Blofeld doesn't recognise Bond in Majesty's, even though he met him in You Only Live Twice? Yeah, I suppose so, but then again, Bond is regenerated. Yeah, no, but seriously, I suppose it is weird, but I suppose they didn't bother mentioning it because both Blofeld and Bond's actors changed. So I guess they thought, well, continuity isn't a big thing with You Only Live Twice and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but yeah. Would you rather see an unnecessary Back to the Future 4, Indiana Jones 5? I'd rather see Back to the Future 4, but I don't think either of them are necessary. Oh, cheers, Sam. It's very kind. Would you agree that the new Bond films to come, they shouldn't have them going back to the 19th? Sorry? Would you agree that with the new Bond films to come, they shouldn't have them go back to the 1960s? Yeah, no, they'll keep it in the modern day. I don't see why they would be a period set piece. We've got all the Sean Connery movies to witness there. Has the Matt Smith era gone up and down in your opinion? It's kind of gone slightly down, but I still respect some of the stories. Like Series 5 was about the same as I remembered it, but 6 was quite disappointing. Probably more so than when I last watched it, because I've thought about it a lot more as I've been watching it. 7 is hard to say, really, because I'm still watching Series 7. I've only just really got into the first half of it, so yeah, it's a mixed bag. I still like Matt Smith as the Doctor. I think he's great, but the stories are a really mixed bag for me. Favorite and least favorite fan fiction? Don't know if I can answer that question. I'm not. I suppose least favorite fan fiction probably 50 Shades of Grey, because that was based on Twilight. Yeah, it's true that Twilight inspired 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, I'm glad you like Peter Jackson's King Kong. Oh yeah, I saw it in the cinema as well when I was 8. It's I mean, it is a long film. It's 3 hours long, and the first hour is quite slow. But once you get through that, like there's a lot of character development. But it's such an emotional film. I thought they put so much passion into it, and the action sequences are pretty epic. Yeah, it's such a Peter Jackson, just so talented, man. Do you think Patrick Stewart would have been a good Mr. Freeze? I've already been asked that question earlier, Sam. Not by you, but someone else. So I'll leave that. How do you feel if each Primeval series got a tagline? Like Series 2 be called Reloaded, Series 3 Evolved for Armageddon? Yeah, maybe. I mean, or maybe if the episodes got titles, that would be helpful. How much of Kevin Conroy's Batman have you seen? Not too much, although I've played the Arkham games. Well, I played the first one, and I played like the first three. I didn't play Arkham Knight that much. I played Arkham Asylum, Knight, and Origins. I think it was Kevin Conroy that voiced Batman in those games. I believe so. Arkham Knight was definitely the best. Favorite underwater sequence in Bond and why? Spy Who Loved Me. The car, the Lotus. It's just classic. It's brilliant. And it is a product of its time, but it's amazingly filmed, and it's just so cool. What can I say? No, it's all right, Sam. No apologies necessary. That's cool, Sam. No worries. Yeah, I mean, Calvin's a bigger YouTuber than I am, so he's got far more subs than me. Time travel story that made your head hurt the most? Probably Doctor Who's Hellbent. What the fuck was that story? Sorry, but that was terrible. Easily the worst Peter Capaldi story. Thoughts on Emily Blunt? Oh, you ask a good question there. Yeah, I do love Emily Blunt. I must admit, she is pretty awesome. She's pretty hot. I think I do have a crush on her. I can't deny. She's a great actress too. She has done a lot of good movies, and I know she's married to John Krasinski, and they have two girls, and they seem like a really sweet family. And I've seen them in interviews together. They're very cute. But Emily Blunt is cool. She's a great actress, and I hope she continues to get big roles. I mean, she's done a lot of work with Disney recently. She's the new Mary Poppins, and of course, she was in Jungle Cruise with Dwayne Johnson, and she's basically playing female Indiana Jones. Yeah, and I think she's also pretty physically attractive too. I won't deny. But yeah, thanks for asking. I hope you share the same opinion of her. Would you agree it's weird how in Diamonds Are Forever Blofeld isn't bald anymore? I suppose not, but then again, if James Bond can regenerate, so can Blofeld. Majesty's has 2 ski chases. Yeah, actually, you're right. There's 2 ski sequences. Yeah, I like both of them. I think they're good. Classic or newer movies? Do you mean just generally? Like, do I prefer classic or newer films? I mean, I like both. I probably will have to go with newer films just because I've seen more of them. But I'm always up for watching classic films. One of the oldest films I've watched was, I think it was The Great Train Robbery or Double Indemnity. I think that was one of the films I watched at college. Yeah. Which content of Doctor Who would you put under Primeval? God, I don't know. Supposing the new stuff with Jodie Whittaker, but I haven't seen a lot of it, so maybe it's unfair for me to do that. If the Bond series was a TV show instead of a film franchise, do you think you would be as much of a Bond fan? Maybe, maybe not. Hard to say. I do love James Bond, but I'm not as much of a fan of TV shows as I am of films, so I don't know. Hard to say. Potentially, I would still be a fan. I don't know if I'd be as big a fan, but I mean, if there was a Bond TV show, I'd be open to watching it. Thoughts on Futurama? Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I prefer The Simpsons, but yeah, it's fine. Opinion on Rusty the Dalek in Into the Dalek? Excuse me. I don't remember, so I'm afraid I can't answer the question until later. Wait till I've seen Capaldi's era, and then I'll let you know. Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you. Would you agree the Transformers designs in the first 3 look cooler than 4 and 5? Yeah, I would agree with that. Do you prefer Dr. No or Scaramanga's Island and why? Scaramanga's Island. It just feels bigger. It doesn't feel so secluded. I mean, I guess that's probably because of budget reasons, but and then going into the fun house as well. It's like you're entering a world of your own. I just think it's much more sort of vast, and then inside the funhouse, it's all sort of psychedelic and weird. Dr. No's lair is pretty cool too. So, you know, I think the production design for the Bond series has been very consistent. Even if they've had cheaper movies like Diamonds Are Forever. Do you want to see the same actors for MQ Moneypenny in the next Bond film? Yes, I do. I mean, they did it with Judi Dench. Judi Dench was in the Brosnan movies and then transitioned to the Craig movies. So a reboot shouldn't affect the casting of MQ and Moneypenny. I still think they could use I mean, I don't know if they'd call him Mallory in the next film. He'd just be M. But still, I think it could work. I mean, I guess it's up to the actors whether they want to do it. Ben Whishaw has stated that he's open to returning if they asked him, but he would find it hard to act opposite a different Bond to Daniel Craig. But you know, I would hope that they would try at least one more film and see how they work with the new guy. I suppose then again, if they do commit to one more film, they have to commit to the other ones. But well, we'll see. But I would love them to stay. I think they're such a great team, and Sam Mendes did a great job in Skyfall of bringing them together at the end and kind of bringing the Bond series full circle. Really, it's such a Skyfall is just amazing. It's so good. Yeah, sorry, I'm not a fan of Kong Skull Island. I just found it boring, but I mean, if you love it, that's fine. How do you improve the Godzilla films you've seen? I don't know. There's only so much you could do with Godzilla. You know, it's all about the spectacle with those films, really. So I don't think I could improve it, really. I would just try to make the human characters and the human drama more interesting. But then again, it's hard to do that in a Godzilla film because people just want to see Godzilla. So, to be honest, I can't answer your question because I haven't actually seen Citizen Kane. I know. Slap me, I'm sorry. But I can't answer your question, unfortunately. I will review it one day and I will watch it and I will put it a review on this channel, I promise. But yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't seen it. Do you agree it's weird how some of the villains in Connery's Bond films dress in drag? Yeah, it's just I mean, it's okay to have camp humor, but I think dressing in drag it's a bit too far. I mean, interesting for the Thunderball opening with the funeral scene. I mean, that was cleverer because it worked in the context of the scene and the story. But the Blofeld in drag in Diamonds Are Forever, that was just there for camp value, and it was just totally pointless. That was overdone. That was overkill. If Helen died in Leek's warehouse in Series 2, do you think the conflict in Series 3 never happened? Possibly, yeah. I think there wouldn't have been much point for Cutter. I don't know, like if Stephen had lived, maybe that would have been interesting. Do you think Dr. No would be as popular as it is if it wasn't the first Bond movie? I don't know actually. Well, I mean, Sean Connery's in it, so I still think it would have had some popularity. But who knows? It's hard to say. But I don't know. I still think it would have had some popularity. But yeah. It is because it's known as the first one. Everybody looks on it with a lot more high esteem. Maybe it wouldn't have been as popular, but yeah. Did General Orlov destroy the real or fake Fabergé egg? That's a good question. I can't remember. Sam Harrison might be able to answer that one. I thought he destroyed the fake one, but I don't remember. God, it's been a while since I've watched Octopussy. Opinion on Felix in Goldfinger. Yeah, I like Felix. Yeah, Cess Linder is a good Felix. Shame he didn't do more movies. Or if he did, I don't remember. I think he did. No. Thunderball, there was someone else. Yeah, he only did the one film. Yeah, I think Jeffrey Wright's the only Felix who's done like more than 2 films, which is amazing. I heard rumors about them setting the Bond movies back in the 1960s. Yeah, well, I don't think they need to do that, really. It's yeah, we've got Sean Connery's movies. Why would we want to go back? Unless they're trying to tell another sort of like, unless they're trying to tell Bond when he's really, really young, but I don't see the point of that. Is Amy's Choice still your favorite Matt Smith story so far. Yeah, probably. Amy's Choice is amazing. I love that story. Most emotional Bond film and why? Good question. For me, I'm going to say Skyfall because of the way they developed Bond and M's relationship. It felt like she was more maternal in that film. And literally, in Skyfall, M stood for mother. It was a very clever idea, and it was a very clever way to kind of change the formula a little bit, but kind of bring the Bond franchise full circle after 50 years. And it's kind of like old versus new. There was a lot of old versus new about the film, and I just thought that, M's death was very powerful. It was sad, and it was sad to see Craig's Bond cry. We'd never seen that. We'd seen him bleed in Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, but we never really seen him cry in his films up to that point. But yeah. Do you prefer the Bond and Tracy love story or Bond and Vesper? Well, that's a good question. I might say Bond and Vesper because, well, the acting. I think Daniel Craig is a better actor than George Lazenby, and also the fact that characters spend more time together. I love Bond and Tracy. Don't get me wrong; they are amazing, amazing couple together. She was his wife, but there is a large portion of that film where Bond is away from Tracy. So I'm going to go with Casino Royale and Bond and Vesper. And I mean, Vesper's death is still very, very tragic. There's no doubt about that. But then there's also now Bond and Madeline in Spectre and No Time to Die as well. But yeah. What would you make Madagascar 4 about if it was made? I don't know, actually. I mean, they kind of ended it the best way they could. It would have to be about the circus. And it would have to be sort of maybe more of the same. I don't know. Unless they focus completely on the penguins, or maybe the Zoosters have kids of their own. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they could do anything else with Madagascar, to be perfectly honest. It was fine as a trilogy. Thank you, Sam. That's really kind. It means a lot. Will you review all the Doctor Who's up to the new series? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking not. I'm just not really keen on the female Doctor idea. I don't know. I've not heard good things about Jodie Whittaker's era. I know her new series is out. Is airing at the moment. Maybe I'll see how I feel after Peter Capaldi, because I might be burned out from all the Doctor Who reviews. But yeah, I'm definitely going to review up to the end of Peter Capaldi, but I don't know if I'll review Jodie Whittaker. But I've heard that Russell T Davies is coming back for the 14th Doctor's era, so that should be interesting. So maybe I will review Jodie's era just to say that I've done it and to prepare for that. Maybe, but I've not heard good things about Jodie, so if you see a lot of rants, don't be surprised. But yes, and I just don't rate her as the Doctor. I watched that first episode and I wasn't convinced. I mean, maybe I need to give it more time, but I just thought they cast the female Doctor at the wrong time. It was just done for the wrong reasons. It seemed like they did it out of desperation, but that's just my opinion. Favorite Bond villain fight and why? It's a good question. Bond villain fight. Favorite Bond villain fight. Oh, there's quite a few. Bond and Blofeld in the bobsleigh in Majesty. That's a contender. I've always loved that because of the sheer stunts of that. Are impressive for the time. Movies you like that most people hate. Spectre. Everyone seems to hate Spectre, but I really love it. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. I really love that film. I think that it's underrated, severely underrated. Yeah, for me, it's one of the best Bond films. And I'm not even joking. I honestly think that. Oh, you agree with me, Sam, about the Bond and Blofeld thing? Cool. Do you read it's a bit ridiculous how Bond survivors being burnt in the coffin in Diamonds Are Forever? Yeah, that is a bit silly, to be honest. Favorite female director? Good question. One of my favorite female directors would have to be Ava DuVernay. I think she's a very good filmmaker. She directed a film called Selma. You must see it. It's really good. I must review it on this channel, actually, at some point. I love The Last Jedi. Most people hate that. Yes, actually, that's another one. The Last Jedi. I actually really like The Last Jedi. Is it perfect? Maybe not. Maybe I was a bit generous in my review. But it's actually better than people say it is, in my humble opinion. Thoughts on Jenna Coleman? I think she's a very good actress. I don't like her character in Doctor Who. I don't like Clara. I think Clara is a total control freak. She's not so bad when she's with Matt Smith, but after that, when she's with Peter Capaldi, she started to become a control freak and boss the Doctor around and become really domineering. I lost my patience with Clara, to be honest, when Series 9 was going on. And yeah, but Jenna Coleman as a person, I think she's okay. I think she's fine. You know, I've never had an issue with her. She's a good actress, very talented. But yeah, it's just really her character in Doctor Who that I have a problem with. Do you have a better time watching Tomorrow Never Dies or Kong Skull Island? I'd probably say Tomorrow Never Dies. I've seen it more times, and it is Bond. I mean, at least there's more action in it. Kong Skull Island for me is boring. Sorry, I mean, both movies are crap, but yeah, I think Tomorrow Never Dies is the lesser of two evils in that instance. Well, Sam, I mean, you say that, but then again, think of Judi Dench, returning in Casino Royale. Different timeline, but everyone was fine with that. So I think it would just be the same as that, like a new timeline with a new Bond, just with the same MI6 people. They would just ignore No Time to Die. I think it would be. I don't see a problem with it. I think it would be fine. But if it's too weird for you, then fair enough. But I think it's fine. Would you say the Star Wars prequels look better than the sequel trilogy? No, I think actually the sequel trilogy looks good. I think the cinematography, especially for The Last Jedi, is really good. The prequels are just filmed in front of a green screen most of the time. That's my opinion anyway. While there's no more questions, I'm just going to have a quick drink. Ooh. Yeah, maybe No Time to Die will be on British Airways, but then, I mean, No Time to Die is going on in America. It's going to be available to rent or something in December. Like, that's crazy early. Considering they got the movie only in October, we got it in end of September. I heard that we're going to get it on Blu-ray and DVD in February. So it's still quite a while away, but yeah. Well, the romance between Finn and Rose was terrible, but to be honest, wasn't quite as painful as Anakin and Padme. I mean, okay, it was stupid, the dialogue when she was like, that's how we're going to win. Not fighting what we hate, saving what we love. Oh, I was like, that's a George Lucas line. Come on, man. How would you rank Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, Blue Sky, Illumination, and Sony Animation? Well, sadly, Blue Sky are no more. They've been cut off. They've stopped. Sadly, because of Disney not being able to afford to keep them, which seems like bollocks. But yeah. So, how I would rank them? I would say Illumination. Actually, no. Illumination, Sony, Blue Sky, DreamWorks, and then Pixar. And Disney probably underneath DreamWorks. Oh, sorry, Sam, I missed your questions. I think maybe a bit more variety of locations would have helped Diamonds. It would have just added a bit more variety, and I think it would have made the film more visually exciting. I mean, Las Vegas is not a bad location. I'm not slagging it off at all, but I did get bored of seeing it, Diamonds Are Forever just for me it's not one of the best. Yeah, Moffat did a lot of bad shit when he was showrunner. I haven't seen Twice Upon a Time yet, but that might be my last Doctor Who review. I don't know if I'll go further than that. I don't know. I just, I'm a horrible feeling I'm going to hate that story. Favorite film from each of those animated studios? God, Disney animation. Well, for Disney animation, if I can choose The Lion King, then I'll choose that. Pixar, my favorite Pixar film is Inside Out. Favorite DreamWorks film, potentially The Prince of Egypt. Blue Sky, the first Ice Age movie. Actually, Robots is a good one. I might actually review that soon because that's coming to Disney Plus. Illumination, not many of them are great, but I suppose the original Despicable Me, but it's not great. Sony Animation, probably Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The first one. The second one is crap. It's terrible. Have you read the script draft for ET2? No, I haven't. I didn't know you could even read it. What was your initial reaction to Capaldi as the Doctor when you first saw him? Well, when it was announced that he was going to take over, I was happy. You know, it was something different. You know, an older guy doing it, feeling a bit more like the classic stuff. But on the actual day, I was going to watch the BBC reveal. I was spoiled. My sister stupidly spoiled it for me. But never mind. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I was on holiday at the time. It's online. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll watch it. I actually need to review the original ET. Thoughts on Lily James? Another beautiful lady. Yeah, she's... I like Lily James. And she was one of the redeeming features of Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. She plays a good younger Meryl Streep. She does an amazing American accent. I only see her do like phone adverts now, which is a shame. But she's a beautiful lady, very talented actress. Number one movie that makes you feel most nostalgic? Oh, that's a good question. A lot of the old Disney ones do. The 2003 Peter Pan movie makes me quite nostalgic. I used to watch that quite a lot as a kid. And actually, controversially, it's my favorite Peter Pan film. Sorry, can slap me. Yeah. But so many. Disney's Dinosaur is another nostalgic one. Yeah, I used to watch quite a lot of like animated films when I was a kid. Spielberg films you haven't seen. Did he direct AI, artificial intelligence? If so, I haven't seen that. I've yet to see all of Schindler's List. I've seen bits of it. That one is one I'd like to see. Jaws I haven't seen. I need to see that. So there's a couple I haven't seen. Series 3 was your favourite series of Doctor Who? I think so, yeah. From what I can remember, yeah, it's always been a favourite of mine. And David Tennant is still my favourite Doctor. Do you think the regeneration to female Doctor would have been better received if the writers created a narrative behind it? Yeah, potentially, but Doctor Who's narratives were already kind of convoluted by that point. So yeah. Loved your review on the 2000 Dinosaur. Watched that a lot when I was a kid. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like that film. I think it's really underrated. It's a simple film, yeah, and it's got a basic narrative, but you know, why not? It's a basic story about survival, and it's not a musical. It actually took the story and the source material quite seriously, and it was for the time. It was technically very impressive. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I enjoy it. Sorry, Night of the Movies. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I'm glad you like Spectre, Sam. Yeah, I mean, it gets a mixed response. Yeah, I personally think it's really good. Although I would rank it fourth best of Craig's movies. Have you seen The Emperor's New Groove? Yes, I really love that film. That is a hilarious film. It's just so much fun. Every time I watch that movie, I have such a laugh. I've not seen the sequel, Kronk's New Groove, but The Emperor's New Groove, that film is just, it's so funny. I love it. If Disney's Dinosaur got a sequel, what would you make it about? And do you think the Carnotaurs would come back? Would there be a new carnivore antagonist? There could be a new antagonist, but I would love the Carnitals to return. I'm sure they wouldn't have wiped them all out. I don't know. I think it would probably be set around Aladar and Neera's kid, I suppose, and then trying to keep hold of the nesting grounds. I mean, I hope they wouldn't do the same thing as the first one. But I still think like maybe it could be something like what the Good Dinosaur was about, like the young boy trying to find his courage, stepping out into the world on his own. It could have been a film about that maybe, and then Aladar and Neera and the herd going on a quest to find him. That could have been something. Standout films of 2021 so far. No Time to Die, obviously. Last Night in Soho, really, really good. I like Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, that was good. Black Widow, The Mitchells and the Machines, even though that was a Netflix film, that was good. June was good. I enjoyed June. Last Night in Soho. Yeah, those are the ones I can think of. Would you agree that Gupta in Tomorrow Never Dies is one of the most useless henchmen ever? Well, he's boring. He doesn't do very much. Simple storytelling isn't always a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not always a bad thing. And actually, it was a mature story. It was a kids' movie, but it's told a serious story. And some of the fight scenes are actually quite gritty in that film. And the scene when the Lemur's island is attacked by the meteor shower, that's pretty intense. That scene used to give me nightmares. I actually had a nightmare when I was a kid that I was in that scene, like running away from a Carnotaur. Yeah, it was kind of scary to think that, but it was impressive for the film to have that effect on me. Would you agree that Kronk isn't really a villain? He's just too lovable. Yeah, he's a henchman. He's supposed to be like an idiot character, but he's lovable. He would never really kill anyone. Yeah. Probably leave it there soon. Which Disney villains do you think Jafar could defeat in a battle? I think he could defeat Scar, definitely, and Gaston, because they don't have magic on their side. Hades, I think from Hercules, he'd have a bit of a problem with, because Hades is basically a god. He's a celestial being, so yeah. Do you prefer 10th Doctor's brown or blue suit? Probably his brown suit, but I like the blue one as well. Do you think Maguire and Garfield will be in Spider-Man No Way Home? Yes, I think they will. Why'd you give The World Is Not Enough a 5 out of 10? Well, go and watch my review. Is the answer. I just think it's okay. It's not the best one. Yeah, go and watch the review. It's on my channel. Oh yeah, Jermaine, I agree. And would you agree, Jermaine, that the sorry, I know it's a Q&A for me, but I want to ask you this. Would you agree that the music for Dinosaur is powerful? I love the soundtrack by James Newton Howard. It should have won an Oscar. It's that good. And yeah, the moment where they look at the island burn, and then I think it's Suri that calls out to the others, and Aladar roars, and then he says, "We can't stay here," and then they leave. It's emotional. They really treated it very seriously. I mean, some of the dialogue in Dinosaur is a bit clunky, but it's a great film. I still really like it. It's so underrated. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed Moonraker as much if it didn't have a Star Wars vibe about it. But I just have a laugh with it. It was on TV again recently, Moonraker. And yes, the finale is goofy and it's silly, but it's fun. I think it would have been cool if Primeval got to feature the Carnotaurs and be portrayed like Dinosaur, at least in those awesome effects. Yes, that could have been good. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. Do you think Maguire and Garfield will be in the trailer too for No Way Home? I don't know if they'll show them in the trailer. I don't know if they do that. Maybe they'll show hints of them, like maybe they'll show their masks. That could be cool. But yeah. Ollie, can you add your 2021 Bond ranking and make it in one video? I could upload it in one video, but it would be very long. That's why I did it in 5 parts. But I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll upload a complete version. But it's up to you whether you want to sit through a video that will be basically like an hour and 40 minutes long. It would be very long. It'd take me a while to edit, but I'll think about it. But if not, there's a playlist, man. On my Bond reviews playlist, the rankings videos are in there. So, and they're also in the rankings playlist. So if you just watch it via the playlist, that might be easier. Oh, I'm glad you love the musical score. Yeah. Yeah, I agree about Renard. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Oh, well, yeah, no, I will keep the 5 parts, but if like I say, I don't mind like uploading it again in a complete version, but it would just take me a while to edit. So, yeah, you'll have to bear with me on that. Would you rather give the current female Doctor a watch or sit through Primeval New World? Probably Primeval New World. Yeah, maybe. Ugh. Waiting for the questions. I think this is the first time I've actually been up to date with the questions. Do you think there should have been a sequel to Dinosaur? Or you're okay with it standing on its own? I am okay with it on its own, but I would actually have loved a sequel. I would have loved to have seen the characters go on in a sequel. I would have liked to have seen Aladar's child grow up and discover about the world. But I suppose it was limited what they could do, but Dinosaur stands on its own pretty well, I think. Would it be hard to do an Illumination ranking since you'd feel the same about all their films? Yeah, I suppose so. Again, I haven't seen all their films. Have I? I can't remember. Yeah, I've seen the Despicable Me trilogy. The first one is easily the best, but it's not a great movie. I mean, it's decent. 2 and 3, 2 is okay. 3, I didn't really care for that much. The Grinch would probably be the second best because I gave it a pass. Sing maybe would be behind the first Despicable Me. I don't know. Yeah, I need to. The Minions could well be the worst movie. I mean, I don't know. I had a good laugh at one of the scenes in Minions, but Minions was so unnecessary. It was just so pointless. Most anticipated movies for the rest of 2021. Well, Spider-Man No Way Home. There's not many films left to come out this year. Do you think they could ever remake Harry Potter? Well, I don't know if they'd remake it. I mean, maybe. There's every chance they could. But they'll certainly continue it. I mean, they've got the Fantastic Beasts franchise to be getting on with. And then I think they'll make The Cursed Child. I think it's kind of been confirmed, quote unquote, that we'll get a film of it in the future. Don't know when, but I think they're going to wait till the original cast are a bit older, maybe in the next 5-10 years, and everybody will go and see it. I mean, I haven't read The Cursed Child or seen the play or whatever. I just don't care for it. Despite being a big Potter fan, I personally feel The Deathly Hallows is the ending. But I am watching the Fantastic Beasts movies, so yeah, maybe. How'd you get all the 24 Bond movie posters? I don't know if you heard earlier, but I went to Bond in Motion in London, which is a Bond exhibition. It closed down due to COVID, but before COVID, I got the poster with all the films on there before No Time to Die came out. On my other wall, I've got a No Time to Die poster. Do you think a Disney's Dinosaur sequel would have been direct to DVD or done in 2D? Well, I would have liked to have seen it in the cinema. You know, do you still like The Grinch with Jim Carrey? Yeah, I think it's a good film. I don't think it's perfect, but it is good. I have reviewed it, actually, if you want to watch my review. Do you still like the... oh, fuck. Are you sad that Disney shut down Blue Sky? Yeah, a little bit sad about that. You know, they could have gone further with that studio, but never mind. I agree. The special effects are still pretty good, actually. You know, Dinosaur it looks good. It looks really good for its time. Some people slag off the script for the movie, but I think, honestly, the dinosaurs needed to talk. I think they really did. Maybe not some of Zinni's lines, like the cheesy romantic lines, but other than that, the dialogue was pretty decent. Do you think Miles Morales should enter the MCU, or should they focus on Peter Parker? Yeah, I think the MCU should keep hold of Tom Holland and focus on Peter Parker. Miles Morales can stay in the Spider-Verse universe movies or whatever you want to call them. Looking forward to Indy 5? No, I'm not. I have done a video about that. It's called Indiana Jones 5 Discussion. It's on my channel. Go and watch that and you get my in-depth thoughts. Do you think Scar or Shere Khan would lose or win to the Carnitals? That's a good question. Potentially they would win because I think they'd be faster. But then the Carnitals, I think, are a bit more deadly. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. Jurassic World 3. Yes, I'm looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion. That should be good. Did you hear about the missing deleted scene from Majesties, which had Bond chasing Hilary Bray's assistant? I didn't hear about that, no. Thoughts on Keira Knightley? Oh, Keira Knightley, yes. Again, another beautiful babe. Good actress. I think, depending on the project, she was a bit wooden in Pirates of the Caribbean at times, but, you know, she's a gorgeous lady. I can't deny that. But I think since Pirates of the Caribbean, she's improved as an actor, and I like her in the film Bend It Like Beckham, and I like her in some of the period stuff she's done. She was in a film called Anna Karenina or something, which is quite a good film, actually. She's good in all those things, but I don't know if she's the most diverse actress, because she seems to be better in those things. Most of her work consists of that. But no, she is good. You know, she's a decent actress. If there was any deleted scene, even though Crom was an arsehole, it still felt bad for him. Yeah, it was a shame he died. I mean, he was an arsehole. It's a shame he wouldn't listen to reason. They probably could have developed his character a bit more. But still, I guess they had to kill him off so Aladar could become the leader. And obviously, Aladar is a natural leader. Even though Crom was an favorite moment in Bolt. I think the fire scene is pretty intense, but I like all the stuff with Rhino, the hamster. The Rhino is quite funny. Yeah, he's a good character. How many Bond deleted scenes have you seen? To be honest, not many. I haven't looked at many of them. I looked at some of the Casino Royale ones. I looked at the extended fight sequence at the beginning of the film in black and white, and I can see why they cut some of the other bits, because it would have just been too long. Do you think there could have been a TV show about Bolt? Yeah, maybe. I mean, the movie had Bolt in a TV show as a super dog, but perhaps they could have. Maybe they, if they wanted to, they could have a series on Disney Plus with Bolt living his new life. But I don't think there's anywhere for the story to go, to be honest. If the Bond movies come to 4K, do you think they should make extended cuts and put deleted scenes in? That's a good question. I think some of them, yeah, like I'd see an extended cut for Quantum of Solace, definitely. Though I don't know how many scenes they deleted. They probably didn't delete that many things because they had so many script problems. I mean, I don't have 4K personally. But if I did have a 4K TV, I would certainly buy the Bond films on 4K. I think they'll release the Bond 4K box set next year. I think they'll release it when No Time to Die comes out. But yeah, I might consider 4K in the future, but I'd have to get a 4K TV, and that costs a lot of money. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Would you say A Town Called Mercy was better than you remembered it to be? Well, yeah, I mean, I always really loved it, but it was only the first time I saw it when it first aired that I didn't care for it. But I've rewatched it a few times over the years, and I've really liked it since then. I enjoyed the 2003 Peter Pan film. Yeah, I actually think it's a really underrated, really well acted film for the child actors. Quite emotional, actually, that film. It's a very mature take on the story. What are you more looking forward to? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, or Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Probably Doctor Strange, too. That one, I think, is more exciting to me. I think the original Doctor Strange is really good, actually. Favorite movie of the 80s? Oh, that's a good question. I like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Some of the Bond movies of the 80s are good, like The Living Daylights. That's a good one. Octopussy's good. Think of other, like the Goonies. I think that was in the 80s. Yeah, the Goonies. That's a classic. The Abyss is another great movie in the 80s. Terminator. Yeah, the original Terminator is really good. Probably the original Terminator, I would say. Yeah. Would you agree the upcoming Zootopia Disney Plus series is making the right call, focusing on other characters than just Nick and Judy? Perhaps. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I think everybody will want to see a new cut of Die Another Day. I want 4K, lol. Oh yeah, me too. Well, some money. That would be nice. Do you prefer to have a beard, or would you rather be clean shaven? That's a good question. I dabble. At the moment, I don't have too much stubble. I mean, my beard always grows very quickly, and like my hair always seems to grow really quickly. I mean, maybe that will change when I get older. I don't know. I mean, I'm only 24, but yeah, I've got used to having a beard. I used to find it like if it gets to a point where it gets a bit itchy and uncomfortable, then I shave. But I don't shave every day just because it's a waste. It's a waste of the blades and it's a waste of the shaving foam. I just let it grow for a bit, and then unless I have to shave for a certain reason, like if I'm doing a show or if I'm acting in someone's film or something, like I act in amateur films and I perform in amateur shows, then I do that if it requires it, especially for the stage because they put makeup on you. But on a general basis, I just let it grow until I get to a point where I've never had it like be fully sort of bushed out, but it's just to the point where it's kind of noticeable, yeah. Favorite Disney TV show. I really liked The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody when that was on. That was fun. You know that Largo is dubbed in Thunderball? Yes, because the dubbing is not good in Thunderball. The editing in Thunderball is not good. Yeah, we have the same Craig ranking. Yes, yeah. At least that we agree on that. Are you a fan of Mouse Hunt with Lee Evans? I can't remember if I've seen it, to be honest. I probably have seen it, but it's been years since I have seen it. I know which film you're talking about. But I would say I'm a Lee Evans fan. Yeah, I like Lee Evans. I think he's cool. It was good when he appeared in Doctor Who, in Planet of the Dead, despite the episode being a bit of a snooze. But yeah. Rambo 3 was the number one most violent movie ever. Then it got beaten out by Rambo 4. I didn't know that. I've not seen Rambo 3. I have seen Rambo 4. And yeah, it's pretty violent. But that's what the movies are made for. So, yeah. Would you agree that Bond should go to Canada in a Bond movie? Yeah, I wouldn't have anything against that. That would be cool. Okay, what's the time? I'll go up to the 2-hour mark, and then I'll probably call it a night. Between all natural disasters you're aware of, which one scares you the most and least? Well, everybody's going on about climate change at the moment. I don't know if you call that a natural disaster. I suppose it is in a way. Like we're heading for that if we don't take care of the planet. That's a bit worrying. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if this counts like COVID. It's not a natural disaster, but it is a virus and it could affect everyone. So that still worries me, despite the fact that we have vaccines and everything. It's still worrying. I mean, we're going to learn to live with it, of course, but there's always the worry because it is life-threatening. So, yeah. Would you agree the sexual humor in the Moffat era shouldn't have been allowed? Yes, I agree with that. Favorite movie of 2004? Probably Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. Have you ever watched any of the Disney movie-based cartoons like Timon and Pumbaa, Aladdin, or The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh? I didn't watch those ones. I think I saw 1 or 2 episodes of Aladdin. The show was okay. I watched a bit of the Tarzan series when that was on. That wasn't bad. Yeah. Since you're a Bond fan, can you confirm if Quantum of Solace is from what I heard, the Bond film with the most action? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. There's a lot of action in it. For such a short film, it's only 106 minutes. So for the length that it is, I suppose yes, maybe is the answer to that. But again, the other Craig films are much longer, and a lot of the Bond films are all longer than Quantum of Solace. So Yeah, I probably would say that. And sometimes maybe the action is a bit gratuitous, but I think Quantum of Solace or Tomorrow Never Dies has the most action. Hard to say. Probably one of those two. Do you think Quantum of Solace and Tomorrow Never Dies have too much action? Funny, yeah. Funny I talk about that, because that's the next question. Potentially, yes. I think I certainly think Quantum of Solace added more action scenes to make up for the script problems. Again, I understand the writer's strike was an issue, but why couldn't they have delayed the movie? They could have just delayed it till 2009. Would have been a lot better. Yeah, because it was such a short film. And Tomorrow Never Dies, yeah, just the finale was like gratuitous action. It just kept going and going. The story for that film was not engaging enough, and it played second to the action, which is not good. Don't you think it's a bit bizarre that Casino Royale is 144 minutes and Quantum of Solace is 106 minutes? Yeah, it is. Mark Forster apparently wanted it to be a bit shorter, but I think, honestly, Quantum of Solace should have been 2 hours long. Like, at least 2 hours long. It should have been. If they didn't have the writer's strike and the script problems, they probably would have made it 2 hours, but oh well. That's what we got. Is The Spy Who Loved Me your favourite climax to a Roger Moore Bond film? I would say so, yeah, probably. Ironically, to your opinion on the film, Tomorrow Never Dies having so much action is one of the things I love about it. Oh, fair enough. That's good for you. Are you looking forward to Transformers Rise of the Beasts after the franchise's fresh new start with Bumblebee? I mean, if Michael Bay isn't directing it, then potentially I'll go and see it, yeah. If Michael Bay has returned to direct, then no, not interested. Right. Okay. Oh. I haven't seen In the Thick of It, but I've heard of it. Oh, it's been a long day. Oh, okay, good. He's not directing it. Yeah, I'll give it a watch. I thought Travis Knight did a good job directing the Bumblebee film, so I'll give it a shot. I mean, like I said, Transformers is a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's, yeah, they're not great movies, but although I think the first one is decent, but the others are not great. So I just kind of enjoy the nonsense that is thrown on screen. Talk about gratuitous action thrown on screen. Do you think Michael Bay, if he directed a Bond film, would be worse than Die Another Day? Potentially. I don't rate Michael Bay as a director that much. His style is kind of, let's just throw everything on screen and hope for the best, which is not good for a Bond film. Yeah. I'll give you guys a few more minutes, and then I'll call it a day, because I think I'll have my dinner soon. Comedy everyone else thinks is funny, but you don't. That's a good question. I mean, some of the Bond jokes I find funny. Not everyone else does. Yeah. Sometimes, comedy that everyone else thinks is funny, I don't. Mrs. Brown's Boys, I've never found that funny. I don't know why. It's my parents like it. Good for them, but it's just never appealed to me. And also Gogglebox, that show, it's just people watching TV. I mean, it was kind of amusing for the first 2 minutes, but then I just didn't care for it. Favorite creature design from Primeval? Future Predator, I suppose. What's your favorite Bond director and least favorite Bond director? Good question. I'm gonna have to say Sam Mendes is my favorite just because of Skyfall, although I do really like Spectre. He brought a lot of artistic flair to the series. Although there's other great directors, don't get me wrong. There's so many great ones. Least favorite Bond director? Lee Tamahori. Obviously. Die Another Day. It's just a piece of shit. After you finish Capaldi reviews, will you do top 10 overall favorite Doctor Who stories? Yeah, I might do that. I'm gonna do like ranking lists from each Doctor. Well, for most of them anyway. Maybe not McGann, but um, I'm gonna do my favorite and least favorites. Well, definitely my favorites, my top 10 sort of or top 5 favorite stories from each era. So you'll get those. You'll get loads of Doctor Who rankings. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to review Jodie. I haven't really decided yet, but yeah, I'll see what happens with the show when Russell takes it over again. Films you don't mind but are aware it's a bad adaptation of its source material. For me, G.I. Joe. Well, I guess I've already kind of answered that. Transformers, the Michael Bay Transformers movies are like my guilty pleasure. They're bad movies, but I mean, although the first one is decent, the rest of them are quite bad. But I just enjoy them for the nonsense that is thrown on screen. Have you visited the James Bond Museum in London? No, but I've been to Bond in Motion. That's pretty cool. It's a little exhibition. Have you ever watched Jack Whitehall's Travels with My Father? No, but I've seen Jack Whitehall in films. He was in Jungle Cruise recently. I watched him in that. He was pretty good. Thoughts on Clint Eastwood? Well, obviously I don't fancy him, like the other females that you've mentioned. He's not my type. But no, Clint Eastwood is a legend. I'm amazed that the guy is still making films today. He is so passionate about what he does in his craft. He's a great actor, great director, very talented man. Definitely one of the most influential filmmakers and performers that we've ever known. When we lose him, it's going to be a real travesty. Do you say Oliver Leake would have gotten along or been against Christine Johnson? I don't know if they would have got on, because I think Christine's kind of like the female Lester in a way, and Leake liked to be in control. So I don't know. We can check out the Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV show one day. Maybe. Have you seen the Mission Impossible TV show? No, but I've seen the movies. Have you seen Michael Bay's Armageddon? Yes, I watched it on TV. I think about a year ago. My mum was watching it. I watched some of it with her. So cheesy. Such a cheesy film. Maybe I'll review it one day. Any thoughts on the live-action Scooby-Doo movies? Oh, yeah, no, they're not good. I mean, Monsters Unleashed is a bit better. The second one is a bit better. It's a little more faithful to the cartoons because it's got more of the villains in it. But the first one is one of the weirdest films ever made. It's just so strange. Like, those monsters that breathe on you, and then you just, like, what they did with the characters was just weird. How they switched bodies, which was, that was kind of amusing. But then, kind of like Fred turned evil, and Daphne and Velma were all weird. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, and the mystery itself was terrible. And Scrappy Doo is the villain. Oh, please. But the second one was better. It wasn't great, but it was all right. The first one was terrible, but the first one was terrible, but the second was all right. I did like the cast. I thought the Mystery Gang were really well cast. The CGI of Scooby for the time was okay, but yeah, just watch the cartoons. Maybe I'll review the films one day. How much of Blackadder you seen? Not much. I don't rate Keira Knightley as an actress. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Transformers movies, if they had better writers, it probably would have been good. But to be honest, there's only so much you can do with, robots hitting each other. The novelty kind of wears off after a while. Okay, I'll make this the last question, and then that's it for today. Would you rather see a Bond film directed by Michael Bay or Stephen Sommers, the guy who did The Mummy? Stephen Sommers. Yeah, definitely. So that is it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for all the questions. I appreciate all of them. And sorry to those who've just joined, but I've been on for nearly 2 hours. But yeah, thank you very much. And stay tuned for the next Q&A, which will be whenever I decide to do it. So stay tuned. And stay tuned for more movie reviews and Doctor Who reviews to come your way. So until then, I'm Mr. Tyler 11. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye for now.